with Kisma. So here we are for our final session of The Owl and the Girl. Here's your list of supplies coming to you. And now let's move forward. Remember in video 4 where I told you I had an accident? Well, this is leading into that accident. I began working with some liquid text ink, muted green, and I wanted to put it up around the tree, the top of the tree, so that it looked like foliage. So first what I did was I got my page wet where I wanted to add the drops of uh, ink to it. And I did it just fine. In fact, I was reserved about those first drops of ink, and it took me a couple of times of trying to get out a drop onto the page before I actually did. And there we have it. I began to spread the ink into places and work toward making it look as if they were leaves hanging down. So I added more water to the page so that in tilting the book up, the journal up, the green ink would run down. I didn't want it to run through the hair. I didn't want it to run all the way down onto the typography below. So I controlled it by tilting it, adding a little here and there, but more or less uh, being very cautious. And as you can see, things seem to be going pretty well. And I wasn't sure I was liking it. And I started to dab away some of the ink. And here's where it went bad. I knocked over that jar of ink, and that ink, half the bottle of the ink spread all over my workspace table. Now, you're lucky you didn't get to hear what I actually said, but I started mopping it up with my towel. Now, I have a good sense of humor, so I was actually laughing, even though you can see what a mess my hands were, and I was showing you just how far it spread. Well, I dabbed away. I used some of the excess ink that was on the towel, and I began to dab on the journal pages so that it began to have a consistency to the. So I tried to keep my chin up and work with the mess I was making, and I was making a mess. I decided to use my Posca white pen to add some finishing touches to the pupils of her eye and the highlighted areas around her eye, as well as to the owl. And then I did think it was time to step away from it. So I left it overnight and I came back the next morning and I took a look at it and I honestly didn't like it. So I decided to do what Lolly Mills taught us, and that was to take white paint and a brayer and brayer over all the areas that were dark or less than to your liking. And I did that. And I also added some pink to her lips and to her cheeks. And then when I stepped back, I thought, okay, this may have salvaged the owl and the girl. And though it isn't my best piece, at least I made an accident turn into a positive. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy.